Hey, what's up, guys? Let me fix the camera slightly. We are recapping the end of our trip to Kuwait. So, if anyone wants to see how the first part, just scroll back in my timeline a little bit and you'll see it's about like an hour-long discussion.
Yeah.
We went much longer than we were planning, talking about not only the Hannibal race, but sponsorship, how to achieve high levels of endurance, coaching, all sorts of good stuff. So you can scroll back and check that out.
Yeah.
We want to talk about the end of our trip. So we left off essentially, Friday night, and then since then we've done the 300 meter Saturday morning, and then we went and had essentially a nice dinner at the owner of Hannibal Race, one of the co-owners' house here in Kuwait, so we got that like local experience. Mm-hmm. And then today we ran to the Kuwaiti Towers and we checked out the Avenues Mall. So let's talk about the 300 meter Hannibal Race. The Obstacle Express, the first time they've ever done a second event, a 2-day event. Give me some of your thoughts on the 300 meter OCR coming from two Ultra-OCR guys.
Fast, very fast. Basically 3 minutes and a couple seconds is what the race was. Had about one straightaway with 2 angled walls. So you just throw yourself at the wall as hard as you can and get over. And then right into a series of obstacles all back to back. And we were talking about it yesterday, how banged up we were immediately after. I was getting bandaged up because I was bleeding everywhere. But you're pretty much reckless because you're going all out for, just a couple of minutes. So it came down to Evan and I were first and second, and then a UAE guy at the very end went out and ran and smashed us by
obliterated
30 seconds. So I think he was at 2:31,
something like that.
Time. I was at 3:03 or 3:05, and Evan was a few seconds behind me. Like basically second through fifth was all within a few seconds of each other.
Yeah, it was like I ended up finishing second, third, and then it was like every place moved back. It was like one more second. So fourth was 3:08.
Yeah.
Fifth was 3:09, and then I think sixth was a bit further back. But
yeah,
it was really close. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the 300 meter obstacle course, Obstacle Express at Hannibal Race, Kuwait. If anyone has any questions, drop them down below. Yeah, it was fast, and anytime you do like a course like that, you finish and you're like, maybe I could have pushed harder, and you kind of always have that feeling. Except I remember when I finished, I like grabbed my stuff and I went to change because it was kind of windy and cold. So I was like, well, let me change. And I remember I finished several minutes ago and I'm changing in the tent and I can still like feel my heart like, and then I was like, maybe I couldn't have pushed harder. It's really hard to judge pacing on something like that.
Yeah, and it's the thing about yesterday's race too. It was a lot colder in the morning.
Yeah,
and we actually ended up starting over an hour later than we thought we were going to. So we had warmed up. We went and ran about 1.25 miles, ran through some of the hills to get warmed up, and then we're kind of a little bit delayed on the race, so we were trying to warm up again. And essentially on a short race like that, you pretty much got to warm up right into the start line.
Right.
And because, you run for a few minutes and your body's not even really warmed up by the time you're done. You're breathing hard, but you don't really feel like you had time to get warm. So yeah, definitely an interesting race. I mean,
yeah, it's my shortest podium ever.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, so
here.
300 meters. I think my shortest podium before that was I think it was like 1 or 2 miles. So this is definitely my shortest podium, contrasting with my longest podium. Same longest podium view, 24 hours for OCR. We're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, insane. So now we've spanned the full spectrum of what's possible. I think there's a 100 meter course at OCRBC. That's the only one I know that's shorter. And that's really high level. And I said yes when we talked about it the day before the race. I was like, I'm more excited for the 300 because people here aren't obstacle proficient.
Yeah,
and
we witnessed. I witnessed that yesterday.
The other athletes who finished basically in the top 10 yesterday, but on the day before, were so fast.
Yeah,
they were all sprinters. I mean, they were putting down insane times, and then you're like, oh no, and then they hit the rig.
Yeah.
And like the guy who came in fourth, I'm pretty sure spent like 45 seconds on the rig.
Yeah.
Like, I think he spent like almost a third of his cumulative time
Yeah.
on one obstacle.
Yeah.
And that Yeah, he was running way faster than me. Like it wasn't close. But that was the difference. The obstacles were the difference between podium and not podium.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see these playing properly, and then they get to the rope climb, and hardly anybody out there knew how to lock in on a rope. And I saw some guys just try to muscle up it, and they'd get, just almost within reaching distance of the bell, and they'd slide back down and have to do burpees. So yeah, obstacle proficiency is key, and a lot of guys are asking us how to train for obstacles, and just said, well, start working on upper body, grip strength, and I hardly ever train obstacles, to be honest. I think just muscle memory from doing thousands of obstacles over the past 10 years, it's, I can get through. Obviously, you can work to get faster and better at it.
Earlier in my OCR career, I worked a lot more obstacle specificity, and then I had strength training background, work obstacle proficiency, and then later in my OCR career, I've done much less obstacle specific work because I was passing all the things I needed to pass, and then it was just a matter of working on running. And basically, I'd work on running until I started losing proficiency in obstacles, and then kind of shift back. And it eventually did catch up to me. Like I think on one of the one of the Pegatrons, I think 2022 or something, I failed it. So I eventually pushed it too far. And then you adjust, and I beat it the next year, so 2023. I got across it. So
yeah, it's a totally different dynamic with doing obstacles for 24 hours versus 3 minutes.
Yeah. It was fun though. I really liked it. The female athletes who have come before, I wish they would have got to experience something like this. Brenna and Rachel, and maybe next time we come, some of them will come with us as well, because it was fun. Yeah, and there was prize money.
Yeah,
Christian won prize money both days, so you can't argue with that.
Yeah, I think I ran a total of about 42 and a half minutes and took home $800 cash, so not bad.
Yeah, I was really happy to get on the podium the second day. I've got obviously a lot of podiums, but I feel like I hadn't had like a real good one since I got my 100th, so I was like waiting for something tangible. And Hannibal Race, being our title sponsor and being friends with the race owners, and a destination race, like I wanted something good to kind of validate some of my previous work, and so I was really ecstatic. I kept it calm at the event because I try not to I feel like sometimes if you're too excited, sometimes it makes other people feel bad. I'm not trying to do that.
You earned it.
I don't know. I try to internalize it and then celebrate on my own privately later. So I was very, very ecstatic, and I was nervous because it's a time trial format. So you run, and then you have to wait. Yeah. And then you're watching all these other people just burn down the course, and you're like, oh. So I refused to look at the results. Christian's the one who went over there and checked on it and told me. And then I never count. I'm always worried something's going to change last minute. Like you go to step on the podium and it doesn't happen. So I never count it until everything's done. You have the prize. You have the announcement's been made, and essentially the event shuts down. That's when it's like I feel like I breathe easy.
Done. Yeah. It was great, and then last night we got to go to a dinner at a very nice house in Kuwait, and they catered a ton of food. I mean,
so much food.
It was ridiculous how much food was there. I think there were 10 people, and we didn't even put a dent in everything. But it was a whole buffet and hors d'oeuvres, and great time.
Yeah. So good. So thank you to Hiba, one of the Hannibal Race co-owners, and Badri, her husband, who took us in and treated us way better. Yeah. I still, every time I'm around them, I feel like they're treating me way better than I deserve to be treated. So, huge shout out to the Hannibal Race owners.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the name of the culture over here, though. They want to take care of you.
And we got to hang out with some of the build crew from Hannibal Race. Also, I feel like everyone's a little bit unique, and everyone has their own flavor, but they're such a cool group, and it was cool to eat dinner with them and then spend some time with them and kind of get to know each one of them individually.
Yeah, definitely.
And then today's our last day, so we woke up this morning and we decided we should go see the Kuwait Towers. Grab your phone. Yeah. I'm going to keep talking so people aren't staring at a blank screen. So we went to the Kuwait Towers. Kuwait Towers it's like these, it's like 3 spikes and they've got balls on them, essentially. They're literally like giant water towers, but one of them is a restaurant, one of them is a viewing globe. So we decided we can run to it. It's about 5 miles away, and 2 ultra runners. That seems like no problem. So we ended up running about 12 and a half miles round trip, and ran all the way there, and got to go up into the viewing globe, and it was about, I think it said 116 floors.
120.
120. It was high up. It was awesome. The top floor rotates, so you just stand there, and it takes about 30 minutes to rotate around completely. If anyone wants to see what that's like, scroll back on my Instagram feed, Ultra-OCR Man, or Christian's. I think I collaborated with him for both of them. Christian Brown Johnson's his Instagram, and you can check out some video from that. And then we also went and checked out the Avenues. The Avenues is a giant mall. It's just preposterously large.
Oh, it was insane. They had just like all kinds of different segments. We walked, I don't even know what to call it. We walked into one area, and it was just black
Prestige.
marble and like gold, and it was the most expensive shops you could even
Like Louis
imagine.
Vuitton.
Yeah, just everything that's
Omega and Rolex.
yeah. It was,
And they had a curved escalator, which is something I've never seen before. I didn't know that was feasible.
like a curved staircase.
Yeah, like the escalator went up, like those, like if you went into a big mansion, like how they have the dual staircases, except they were escalators.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So again, if anyone wants to see that, again, check out my Instagram feed, Ultra-OCR Man. It's on the reel. Same thing with Christians. I did a little collaboration there. But it was so big. You can literally drive a car. You can drive cars down like the aisles.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Yeah. We didn't really buy anything, but we just kind of walked around and ogled at the absurd nature of the Avenues Mall. So
Well, we did get a Lululemon water bottle.
that he won at the race yesterday.
Yeah, and those, just so you know, if you want a Lululemon water bottle, they're about $60-something.
$60 for a water bottle.
I was like, well, I should probably go get this because it's worth a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was overall trip was excellent, great experience. I'm freaking exhausted right
Me
now.
too.
And it's going to be a long night, 8-hour layover at the Doha airport. Thankfully, the Doha airport is one of the largest in the world.
Super
lots to see. So
There's like a rainforest in the airport.
yeah,
It's crazy.
it's so cool. That's where Jake and I slept last year.
In the rainforest?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on one of the benches.
Yeah, there's always people sleeping there. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So we both have nighttime flights. So essentially, we leave tonight. It's nighttime now, but we leave in a couple hours, and then taking different routes and basically have layovers, and then we both arrive essentially late Monday. So you actually arrive basically the same-ish day that you leave.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
I'll get back to California at noon tomorrow.
Oh.
Then I have a 4-hour drive home.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough. All right. Any final closing thoughts before we get going?
Got to go do another Hannibal race.
Oh yeah.
And then we were talking about potentially Dubai Games next year. Yeah.
Maybe you see the Mudgear Hannibal Pro team there.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if we can get an invite. Get our foot in the door.
Yeah.
Maybe not me, but there's better people on the team than me. So we'll send Christian with a couple of the other guys and girls. Maybe I'll come and coach.
Oh yeah.
Massage people's legs. And get them food or something.
I think it'd be a good opportunity. So try to get into that.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a phenomenal trip. This is my 5th time traveling to the Middle East to race, and every time I've come, I've been like, "What? It's a once in a lifetime experience."
Yeah.
I've been wrong every time, and it is all the work I've put into OCR for me. One of these trips is worth like all that work.
Oh yeah.
It's just because it was just. I mean, you just pour so much money, effort, time. You sacrifice time with family, sacrifice time with friends, sacrifice time doing other things, and it's nice to have like a emotional type payout like this. Just phenomenal.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, sticking to your craft and your hobbies can someday lead to big things. So
Wild. Like I could never have predicted this.
yeah.
I was not an athlete in high school. I think I scored points for the cross country team once because everyone else was sick, and I would like.
At least you were a runner.
That's fair.
I wasn't a runner.
And then I basically was not very fast, so I kept running longer, because people seemed to think that was kind of impressive. And then it snowballed.
Here we are.
And soon enough, you're podiuming a 300-meter OCR in the middle of Kuwait.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I know it's wild. It's awesome. still living on the high. Even though they're small races, I think it still means a lot because, it's not just a hometown local race. We had to fly across the world to come out here and experience this. Different terrain, obviously different athletes from all over the Middle East showed up, even for a smaller race like this. So the competition was there. So I feel like it was definitely earned.
The UAE guys were so fast.
Yeah.
Can we just emphasize how fast they were? They were like preposterously fast. And I'm not even, this is not exact, not saying anything negative, but they literally weigh like 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Because they're pure runners. I mean, like stick bodies. Yeah. And they were running so fast in that 300 meter. I was like, we're screwed. And then obstacles, right? Obstacle course racing.
Yeah. And I was looking at a bunch of the photos I took, and the podium photo from the 8K race, and I towered over those guys.
Yeah, you look ginormous.
I was probably the tallest guy racing.
You look ginormous. You're carrying way too much muscle. And
I'm not even really that big. I'm actually pretty light for my height. But yeah, I looked way bigger than those guys. So, yeah, I guess I'm doing something right.
Yeah. All right, guys, thanks for checking in. And again, if anyone has any questions, you can drop them down below. We'll answer it after the live feed's over. Or if you want to hear about the 8-kilometer race, scroll back in my timeline a little bit. We got like an hour long. We call it a TubeCast, not really a podcast.
Yeah. Because
I'm not doing podcasts anymore, just these. So if you want old Strength and Speeds episodes, you can head over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Ultra-OCR Man. But this is like the new format for any sort of strength and speed podcast type production. So you'll get some OCR stuff. I might do some Christianity stuff. I might do some martial arts, combat sports type stuff. So this is where it's at.
Yep.
A mix of Facebook, and then I'm going to save it and upload them to YouTube. So if you're watching it on YouTube, good job. If you're not subscribed to the Strength and Speed YouTube, go over and subscribe so you don't miss stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys.
Catch you later.